Hi, this is Micornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. We are dealing with a topic that speaks about what makes high performers to become high performers. What makes high performers to become high performers. Now, one other thing that makes high performers to become high performers, and as a young man, you want to become a high performer, what would make you to become a high performer is what we call genuine humility. Now, there is what we call genuine humility, and there's also what we call fake humility. Now, what's the difference? Genuine humility is ability to receive feedback genuinely. There are those of us who claim to be receiving feedback genuinely, but there are those of us that you will find that even though we think that we're receiving feedback clearly or feedback genuinely, you find that as a result, you still don't want to act according to the feedback that you've been given because you've got resistance to that feedback to an extent that you start to think, who does she think? Who does he think he is to give me feedback? And you say you're accepting feedback, but you are resistant to it. And people that are genuine, humble, they will actually receive feedback from anyone, from their team members as well. I'm speaking about you as a young man. When you are a leader, a manager, for instance, remember that your team members are going to give you feedback based on the trust that you've built. But it's going to be very important that you have what we call genuine humility. Because as a leader, when you're given feedback by others, particularly your team members, it is not easy. You're going to need to make sure that you're humble enough to take that feedback and apply it. Because feedback can only improve you, can only make you a high performer. But many of us, we are not. We are reluctant to listen to feedback because we take feedback based on who it comes from. If it comes from people that we undermine, that feedback may not be applied in our lives. And high performers are those that take feedback from all spheres, including even the people that are reporting under them, including even those people that are just team members of them. When they give feedback, they apply that feedback and make sure that they execute that feedback upon their lives and apply it in a way that it improves them, that next time they don't do things the same way. Remember that feedback can be empowering. Feedback may be able to develop you as well. And feedback is able to shape you to improve on yourself right now and become a better person tomorrow. We are the product of how we acted upon feedback that we were given. And this is very important. And as a young man, as you grow and become a leader, remember that feedback then becomes very important. But it needs humility from you and a genuine humility, because there are those people that are below you, those people that you undermine, those people that you think that they are not important, and they're going to give you feedback, and that's a crucial feedback. And that feedback may actually turn your life around, and you may never be the same again. So be open to feedback, to receive feedback, and act on the feedback, because if you don't act on it as well, it becomes useless to say you have had a feedback if you're not going to act on it. And I want to emphasize that high performers are the people that are able to become genuinely humble, and they are able to receive openly a feedback and be able to act on that feedback as well. The other thing that makes high performers to become high performers is ability to take ownership. And I cannot emphasize this enough as well. Ability to take ownership. Now, there are people that don't want to take ownership, but yet they want to become high performers. And I want to say to you that it is difficult for you to become a high performer if you are not learning to take ownership. Accept the responsibility when you are being allocated a responsibility. When you are being delegated, take responsibility of what you've been delegated. Carry it through with articulation. Make sure that you carry it through with high responsibility and carry it through with a high honor of that responsibility. And as you do so, that is what we call taking ownership. And high performers are people that are able to take ownership to anything that they are being allocated and they are being delegated as well. Because when you accept ownership or take ownership, you are going to be actually open-minded about the approach that you apply. You are going to be able to actually be innovative also in articulation and execution of what you do because you've taken ownership of it. Now, if you are allocated as a young man to become a manager, remember that the domain that you're managing is your own responsibility. So take ownership. Don't say, I'm going to wait for my manager or my boss to come and give me another instruction. If you know what to do, take ownership of what you're doing and make sure that you perform according to your full potential that you have, because you would have taken ownership of everything that you need to apply. So this is very important. And I want to emphasize that people that cannot take ownership, they cannot become high performers, because high performers are people that take ownership in every single area that they've been allocated. Take responsibility, accept the responsibility for the actions and their outcomes as well. Whatever you do, remember that it is you who have decided on it, and remember that as you do it, you must take responsibility, even if there are negative results that come out of there, even if there are negative outcomes. So take responsibility. Make sure that you take ownership and say, this is my mistake, I will correct it. Don't blame others about your own mistakes. Don't blame others about the things that are happening. You cannot be a high performer as long as you keep on pointing fingers, as long as you keep on blaming others on your own mistakes. Now, people that are high performers, they take full ownership of what they do. They take full responsibility of what they do, and then they become really true high performers because of that. So please take ownership and make sure that you become responsible in everything that you do. Accept the responsibility and for your actions, and make sure that every outcome that comes from your actions as well becomes your responsibility as well. You take full ownership of that. Finally, people that are high performers, they are high performers because they are able to solve problems. And I want to close with this one, and I hope that will help you. Now, solving problems is very important for any high performer, because remember that you become a creative mind. You become somebody who's innovative enough. You become somebody who's becoming a problem solver for every situation. Remember, the impact that you make in lives of people is depending on the type of problems that you solve for them. People see you as valuable in their lives based on the problems that you solve for them. Now, high performers are those people that are problem solving. And solving of problems then becomes key in everyone who is dreaming to become a high performer. So look up to that and make sure that as a young man, you learn to become somebody who solves other people's problems. Now, you approach problem with creative solutions as well. That every problem, you don't see doom and gloom in every problem. Now, when we speak about people that are high performers, are people that always think of a way out of any problem. People that always think of a solution. People that always say, but there must be a solution. There must be a creative way of coming out of this place. Now, high performers are like that. They think out of the box. They don't stick to seeing the problem as something that is unsolvable. They don't see the problem and say, but we cannot succeed. The problem is big. They actually look at the problem and say, but there must be a way out here. So in other words, we're looking at high performers as people that when they are facing problems, they either know that they can solve this problem. If it's a stumbling block of a mountain, they can either climb this mountain. If the mountain is not climbable, they can go around that mountain. If that mountain is difficult to go around it, they know that they must actually push the mountain down or crush the mountain or run it down completely. And that could be the solutions that they have. And many other solutions that they think they can think of, they will actually bring them on the table. We're talking about high performers here because high performers don't actually take no for an answer. They don't sit back and think that it is actually the end of the road, because for high performers, there's no end of the road. Now, high performers are people that solve problems, are people that look at the problem and approach that problem with positive mind, approach that problem with creative ideas and solutions that say, we can solve this problem, and there's nothing that can stop us from doing that. So be a problem solver, and then you are a high performer. and as a young man as well, desire to become a high performer who is a problem solver. There's no problem that's beyond you. There's no problem that is higher than you, as long as you are somebody who's creative enough in your solutions. May the good Lord bless you. I want to check out right here. But before I check out, I want to remind you that we are having this platform on Facebook, Young Men Empowerment Forum, and also Micornus Phokane, that you need to like and follow us on those platforms. And also don't forget also to make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Young Men Empowerment Forum, and click notification platforms and notification on those platforms, and make sure that you are notified when we've posted videos of this kind. Remember our TikTok account as well. It is trending in a big way, and I hope that you're learning out of this. We've got a lot of videos that we've posted in the past on our TikTok account as well. So please follow us, and the good Lord will bless you as you do that. Allow me to check out right here and say cheers for now.